to 11 inside of the Longines watch fence there on the way to the horse flight. And then, as we can see here, Connor Swale and company making their way away from home to show that line on the way to the Brownstone Oxter there. Now, you've been here since the Hampton Classic, so late summer, you said. How have you found your time so far in the U.S.? Is this your first visit here?
I've actually shown here 3 years ago at WAF once at Kentucky Outdoors, and I really liked it then already. And this year I decided to come here again. It started very well at the Hamptons. I won the first class. I showed it there. Yeah, I have to say I really like it. And now the indoor shows, my horses both have done quite well in the indoors last year in Europe. So I was hoping they're doing the same here, and so far it's working.
Yep, working out for you indeed. Are things living up to the hype? I mean, I know that you have your own indoor series. Jumping is legendary in Europe, particularly where you're from there in Germany. But tell me, of course, Washington is a big indoor show. The National Horse Show now 140 years strong. I know there's a lot of legendary status behind those shows. Have you been finding them to be just as fun as you would have expected them to be?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love these traditional shows, and Washington last week was super fun to be at, and especially also the Kentucky Horse Park has such great facilities, and it's amazing to be here. And yeah, I'm looking forward now next week to do the next World Cup show then in Toronto.
Okay. And what are you going to be doing after Toronto? You got a little bit of time off there, you think?
After that, my plan is not 100% sure yet, but I think I'll give my horses a couple of weeks off and then maybe do one show before Christmas in Wellington, and then maybe in February and March some shows in Wellington.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing what you can produce here tonight, Renee. We appreciate you taking the time aside with us after a couple of wins in a row from Washington here to Kentucky. And, of course, starting off on a great note in our opener last night, the welcome. Congratulations to you, and we want to wish you the best of luck. And I know we've got a quality crowd. Maybe not all the seats full, but they are definitely horse lovers. They wouldn't be here otherwise. So how about if we give this audience to wish you good luck by a round of applause, if you would, please. Renee Detmer, last night's winner, coming to us tonight as well with Burlington.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and let you head out there and get ready, and we'll see him in the competition about midway through the pack. Thanks a lot, Renee. Back up to you, Max.
Of course, 140th National Horse Show here, as we mentioned. This is the third of 4 FEI events happening this week. We're going to be keeping track of events. Also, we'll get those riders points for the leading International Jumper Rider Award presented by Sterling Equestrian and Forest Hill Stables. 18 entries to see tonight over Alan Wayne's course, as will be presented by TNR Development. We'll be back with that top of the order in 15 minutes. Of course, Thursday brought the $77,300 meter 45 welcome tonight. The $38,700 international speed stake, and all culminates with the weekend edition here, the $226,000 four-star Longines FEI Jumping World Cup. Saturday night, come on back and join us for great show jumping here tomorrow evening. Just a under 15 minutes from that top of the order for the TNR Development International Speed Stake.
So this class should be pretty quick. Top 3 ride for ribbons. 12 minutes away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at All Tech Arena, home to the 140th National Horse Show, an event that began, of course, in New York City, showplace to the world there at Madison Square Gardens back in 1883. And here we are in the showplace of horses to the world, Lexington, Kentucky, where we migrated just over 10 years ago. And we are just about to present to you the second class in the big international field for the week here. Just before the start, we had a chance to talk to René Dittmer of Germany, who was last night's winner with Corsica. Tonight he'll be showing Burlington Riverland. That one's going to be right in the middle of the pack, and I'm glad to have our first one on course here. While Brian Lookabill is my name, and of course we have Kim Prince with us to give us that rider insight as we are about to kick things off here with Mark Blumen of Columbia riding La Perla van de Verbeek. And Kim, time allowed 79 seconds. This is a lot different from what we saw last night. You got to be a little careful to get into the speed round in the welcome class. Tonight, you got to put the pedal to the metal right out of the gates, right?
Absolutely. This is a very fun class. It's got some good straight lines, but then also a lot of twisty-turny. And Mark left out a stride right down the first line.
And we were talking to Renee about the distance there. 6 or 7 could be the option.
Wasting no time around that turn. Unfortunately, came in a little bit hot into that combination, had A down.
Didn't get to set up very nicely on that vertical, I guess, on the turn, huh?
Yeah, that's the chance you take in this class because he's got a lot of fast horses behind him.
Down on the backside, that's also a part of the course that Renee Dittmer was talking about, needing to be very careful over the Liverpool fence and on the way down here to the combination. So far, we've got 3 jumps on the ground for 12 faults total. Of course, they're 4 faults apiece. And here he's going to go for that inside cut that Renee talked about as well, slicing to the horse flight vertical.
And then 7 strides up to the last.
Yeah, 7 strides there. It looked like he took up a little bit after he had the knockdowns there. Yes. Decided to ease up the pace.
Ease up a little bit, yeah. Like I said, this is going to be a fun course because it has a little bit of everything.
There's a look at the vertical coming in. Again, if you bank that turn, you don't have as much time, or if you cut that turn, you don't have as much time to set up on the jump. And that looked like a little bit of an unlucky rail, just didn't pick up those hind feet enough. It looked like they sort of left it a nice distance, right?
Yep.
But nonetheless, pulled the rails in 3 locations, 12 faults the score, time 63.90 is the time. So Daniel Blumen is coming up next. And Daniel here with the Corby VV, 8-year-old gray mare, the Zangersada coming to us here. Daniel riding for Over the Top Stables LLC. Of course, he was past winner here in the World Cup class in Kentucky. And that's among many, many victories to his credit. He rides representing Israel. Currently 13th on the Longines World Ranking.
And there, Daniel decided to do one more than Mark.
Yeah, it looked like he was sort of setting up nice and easy at the front part of the course here.
And that 4 rode a little bit up for him. But that first line, you got to really do what's best for your horse, whether you shoot them right off the bat or let them ease in and then try and pick up as you go. He's being very efficient. Nice and smooth through the Rood and Riddle vertical. See how he handles this front rail at the Liverpool.
It looked like maybe Corby VV would have maybe oversteered just a bit, so he steadied up on the way to 6.
Oh, a little rub, but it stayed up. Then he sniffed the big one, but then it got a little bit lost on the turn and had to add again. Nonetheless, he's holding on to a clean.
Yeah, he's clear so far. And as we said, looks efficient up to this point.
Put a nice bend in that last line so he can keep going. That always makes it faster.
Yeah, so he finishes on a penalty free and then sets the standard at 61.77 with no faults at all. So well done as we take another look. Nice look after fence number 2.
That's where he got a little bit stopped. But he made a good recovery, got the horse back up to the jump and cleared it.
Yeah, had to dig in a little bit there on the way to the Equestrian Events Incorporated vertical number 9. And, of course, his formula was a winner so far here with no faults at all. We'll see how that holds up while Jessica Lido comes to us next, the first of our riders for the USA, owner and rider, in fact, of Mistral, 11-year-old gelding.
And you can see she's opting for the add up the first line, so she has a little bit more control. Unfortunately, got a little bit too close and had it down.
I was looking back up at maybe the wrong time, but I think she might have gotten 8 in there.
Yeah, it's a 7 or an 8, yeah. She did do the 8, but not quite well enough. And again, this is her second horse. She's making a plan to go around. She's already had number 2 down. Not in it to win it today, but again, wanting to get in the ring herself and stay sharp for her other horse.
I do have to say that, we've only got, I think, 18 with 1 scratch in the field here this evening, so there is a good possibility that even with a knockdown, you could still have a ribbon, but yeah, you definitely want to not waste it all on tonight.
This horse looked a little bit green in the first two-face class that it competed in. So it's settling in and jumping quite well tonight.
Getting up that final line there with a bit of a slower pace. In fact, all the way around, as you said, took her time to get there. 80.27 is where she'll stop the clock. And, of course, that is going to result in penalties on the clock in addition to the knockdown there. 4 jumping, 2 time, 6 will be the total. Now, that one scratch I told you about there, Margie Engel with Jack of Hearts. So that means it's going to bring us to Kama Godek. Joins us out of her base in Virginia. And she's here aboard her own Connie 409, the 9-year-old Chestnut Oldenburg mare. Cam has been showing throughout the indoor tour from Harrisburg to Washington there in Upper Marlboro, and of course now here at the Nationals. So she completes her set of the originals in the indoor series. A little deep on the takeoff at fence number 3 and a little sticky, but.
And then she changed her plan, and instead of doing 4, she pulled and did the 5, which was the right choice. She wasn't going to get there in 4. This horse is a little bit green. I was a little bit awestruck the first day. I think she's just trying to make sure it's nice and confident going forward.
Front rail dropping there at fence number 7. That's her first knockdown so far here in the round, so 4 faults. And again, got kind of deep there coming down to fence number 10.
But she made it.
Yeah, Connie's putting in a good effort here.
Yes, she is. Yeah, the horse really did try to clear the jumps, even though she's a little bit green.
Yeah, there's a couple spots there where we saw them get into a little bit of trouble, but nicely done to pull it out. Just the 4, 75.70 is the time with those penalties. And take a look there. A hind rail on the front side of fence number 7, that Liverpool oxer. And that's where they got a little close to the front side of 3, but Connie put in a good effort to get up and then over. Just had that one knockdown. Caroline Mahwini is next to go. She's coming to us here aboard Carsey Z, 10-year-old Zangerside gelding, the chestnut, owned by Louis Mersink. Top 3 finisher as a rider last week at Washington aboard Danse de Buisson.
And this horse is a quick mover. She, again, did the 8 down the first line, but it's very quick with its legs. So even though she added, it's not slow. Caroline's a very fast rider. Just 18 years old, competing in the international division here.
Looks like a horse with a lot of get up and go, really raring to do it. Slight left to right cut across fence number 7 there.
Yeah, get a little bend. Just catching the good distance off the turns. Always faster when you don't have to pull on the reins. Hind rub, but it stayed up. See if she can bring it home.
That looked troublesome coming into the horse flight vertical, but she made it nicely over, and will do it again there. So that's just the second clear of the class, 64.12 for Caroline Mahwini and Carsey Z. Into second place, just behind Daniel Blumen's 61.77 time aboard Corby. One more look there as she gets up and across the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup oxer, and as well at the horse flight vertical. The stutter step coming around that bend came about a stride earlier than what we saw in the replay there, but nonetheless all through with no faults. Rider from Spain coming up next. We have Francisco Goyuaga Molet riding the Ashland Farms entry, for whom he is a professional, has been riding for them throughout the course of the year since WEF in Wellington. This is the Diamant Rose Z, 12-year-old Zangerside mare by Toulon.
Yeah, and you can see actually how fast Daniel was going down that first line. He was the only one brave enough to do the leave out. This horse has a nice big stride. Can really cover the ground. And he thought it would take too much time to pull inside that horse head, so he ended up going around to the root and riddle.
Yeah, most others have done otherwise. He also goes outside the lamp post there that Renee Dittmer earlier on discussed potentially going inside.
Yeah, and like you said, Brian, there's not so many in this class. He's thinking a nice clean will get him a check.
A little rocky over the top of the EEI vertical there, but he's still clear to here with just 2 jumps left. He also puts the bend in that last line to fence number 12 and stays penalty-free throughout. It's a steady pace, not a quick one necessarily, but a penalty-free nonetheless, putting him into third. 70.47 ranks him there. So it's a clear round. We take one more look. And there's the final fence where he wrapped up the penalty-free effort. Again, that was Francisco Guiaga Molet, the sole rider from Spain. Daniel Coyle, our first of 3 for Ireland tonight, and he joins us here aboard Quinton, 13-year-old Bay Royal Dutch Warmblood gelding. Rides this one, of course, for Canada's Ariel Grange. A couple of top finishes throughout the course of the season for Daniel Coyle of Ireland. He's had top honors in Nations Cup events as well as meter 50 5-star competition at Spruce Meadows and Traverse City. More recently in Greenwich, a top finish there in a 5-star Major League show jumping stop.
And he started right off the bat with the 7. This is a small horse. That's a nice stride, really covers the ground.
Daniel, part of that top 4 team last year in Herning, Denmark for the World Championships of show jumping.
And it looks like if you slice inside to the root and riddle that it sets you up to stay inside the lamppost to the Liverpool.
Yeah, you got to take
both
that
of them
slice
done.
on the way.
Yeah. That was efficient. Doesn't feel quite as fast as the winner. Oh, and unfortunately, one down.
I would imagine you were about to say how that one turn might have made a big difference there, huh?
Yeah, but the turns were efficient, but then unfortunately, the last 3 jumps came down.
Yeah, and I'd say that a couple places there really made the difference as he goes 60-80 at the finish line. But again, late rails in play there, 3 of them for 12 faults. Yeah, that was very, very quick. Dove right over the oxer there and sort of maybe concentrated more on the turn than getting the legs up and out of the way on the backside there. 12 faults for Daniel and Quinton. We're just about halfway through now. This will be our 8th of 19, so just under the midway mark with Kelly Cruciati Vanderveen coming to us. She joins us tonight aboard Forever SFN for Serenity Farm. 13-year-old Bay Royal Dutch Warmblood gelding by Azteca VDL. He's had some top 3 placings this season at the Hampton Classic, a victory in Saugerties and Tryon in recent competition at the 4-star level.
Kelly got such a good first jump. I think she could have done the leave out, but she had been planning to add, so she stuck with it. Got the inside curve. Let's see what she can do to the Liverpool. Unfortunately, had the root and riddle down. Coming in on the right and out on the left. Just cut down. And again, like you said, diving in the air. Caught up with her at out of that combination.
Yeah, all the times on the board
She's still working some of those turns, and on that one, I got lucky at the horse flight vertical, not having a rail down there. Look at that time, 60.54. Yeah, she didn't let up even after the 2 knockdowns, and that's going to produce what is right now a 6th place effort. 60.54 with 8 faults.
Now you can see the first rail here. The horse tried, it followed through, it then just nicked it.
Yeah, if she would have maybe been straighter on that jump, maybe would not have had to spend as much time in the air to clear it, but by the same token, that was the slice,
that was
or one of the
track.
slices that got the
Yes.
that got her the quick time, so she had to go for it.
Yes.
Jessica Mendoza coming up next. She joins us now as a representative of Great Britain here aboard Chuck Bass for Elbow Stables. 12-year-old Bay Oldenburg Stallion, by Centadel. Once again, right now, we've had some quicker times than Daniel Blumen, but the others that went quicker had faults. Of course, that's the number one objective, get there penalty free. And Daniel did so aboard the early ride Corby.
And Jess is also being a bit more conservative on her turns. She's making sure she has the line she wants. Fortunately, A came down a little bit past the distance there.
It looked like she drifted a little bit on the outside on the approach to 5A. Right now it's interesting, the 1-4 falter that we have on the board has a 75-70, very conservative time. So she could still be fairly slow-paced and get into that 4th position if she keeps it at just the 4. It looks like she might still finish up just a little bit behind Kama's 4-fault time there. And indeed she will. 76-33 with the 1 knockdown, and that means 5th for Jessica Mendoza and Chuck Bass. Now here's the rider who took the victory last night, 2 more at Washington the week prior. Renee Dittmer coming to us while we take one more look. It looked like, again, Jessica drifting a little bit to the outside there on Chuck Bass, pulled it back inside, but couldn't get up and over that vertical without pulling it down, so they get 4. But Renee Dittmer again took the win last night. Corsica, the top contestant in our welcome class, and now he's here with Burlington Riverland. He said earlier when we were discussing before the course walk that they're 2 of the favorite horses he's ever had. 12-year-old Gray Gelding, a Cell Francais by Milord Carthago, owned by Live Oak Plantation LLC. Of course, our sole rider representing Germany.
I think it's very fun to come to a competition like this with your first and your second horse both being so competitive.
Yeah, and so much success in the recent weeks here, but still quite the modest temperament. It was great having a conversation with him earlier on.
Yeah, he's such a soft rider. Even though he's so tall, his body is always in the right place. Balance is great. Gives the horses the opportunity to jump. Nice cut in. Oh, a little too much on the cut in. But again, got to try it.
Yeah, we'll have another look at that one. He did say that on the way around there, while you might want to slice it, and it's on a little bit of a bend coming out of that corner, you're definitely going to have to be careful over that big, wide Liverpool oxer.
And then just adds a stride, finishing up nicely.
He wraps up on 8 faults. His time was very quick, 61.39. Another quicker effort than the leader, but with 8. And that means he's 8th in the ranking right now. We've got just 8 more to go as well. There you have a look.
And the horse knew it was going left, so as it took off, it really shifted into the standard.
Yeah, I got to say, as you look at that, it actually looked like they hit the standard with their side, and that's really what created the problem.
Exactly.
I think they might have cleared it otherwise. That was definitely a result of the slice that he was going for to get that time. So Connor Swale coming to us now. He'll be here aboard Castorano. Castorano is the Manon farm entry at a 10-year-old bay Holsteiner gelding by Castellan. Currently 15th on the Longines world ranking. He's among the top 3 in the field here this week, with Daniel Coyle at 11th, Daniel Blumen in 13th, and Connor Swale in 15th, being those best riders that are here in Kentucky.
And the one thing we know about Connor and this horse is he can definitely slice.
Wow. Almost looked like Castorano jumped at the oxer a little bit, but still very careful getting those legs up and over.
Yes, and this should be nice slice here. See if we can straighten up just a hair with the red to clear it. Oh, that was beautifully ridden because the horse really stayed going to the right. Connor is a master at this kind of course. Kind of into the wall, but again, still in control on the backside of the jump.
He's got a beat on the lead. And wow, how about that back end action?
That was a great
on
try.
Castorano. And yeah, there you have it. We've seen a number of them really slice the course here in all the right places. It didn't work out for the rest, but it will work out for Connor Swale. Castorano, the new leader, in a time of 59.58. 59.58. There's the EEI vertical. I'm pretty sure he went left to right quite a bit more than anyone else there.
Everywhere.
And wow, look at that back end.
That was really turned inside out.
So flexible front to back there was Castorano in the effort to get there to the top of the list. He's right now 2 seconds and change ahead of Daniel Blumen. We've got Ireland, Israel, and the USA in the top 3 spots, and there's also Spain fourth with another clear. Those are the only 4 clear right now. Connor Swale, Daniel Blumen, Caroline Mahwini, and Francisco Goyuaga Mulet. Jad Dana for Lebanon here with After 8. 13-year-old bay Swedish mare by Diorado out of Spring Hill Farm.
And the one thing we know about Jad is that he loves to go fast.
Yeah, a lot of foot speed here. They did, however, get in the 8 strides on the way between 1 and 2.
Oh, just a little bit stretchy at that and had the back rail. I hate to see that because he's so competitive, but again, he's understanding how many are clean, and maybe a fast 4 can get a good piece of it. So he's keeping the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, especially look at the fastest of the 4s right now as a 75-70 time. So there's definitely room for improvement on that pace.
Oh, and he really tried to straighten up there. It didn't pay off, but it was a very good attempt on his part to ride it as best he could.
It looked like After 8 took a little corrective step there on the approach to fence number 9 and got up and over. Now they've got 2 jumps left as they round the bend. Carrying 8 faults is actually on the bubble right now. 8 faults would be on the bubble, but you'd have to have a faster time than that to do it. 68.24 is actually going to put him down into 10th. All right, so currently leading time is that of Connor Swale in 59.58. And Elise Oken will challenge next. $38,700 on the line this evening in our TNR Development sponsored speed stake. And of course, the last class in the international field before we get into that Longines FEI World Cup jumping Lexington tomorrow night. And we've got Elise Oken here aboard Saratoga, 11-year-old gray Holsteiner mare by Chin Champ out of High Hopes Farm LLC in her native home of Charlotte, North Carolina. She's had a lot of success in North Carolina this season. A couple hours away from Charlotte there in Tryon. But really worth mentioning how much she has been world traveled throughout the last couple seasons as well. Lots of time in Europe. She did show, of course, at indoors in Washington there last week into some good ribbons in the international field.
And you can see Lisi has taken the option of maybe just a nice clean would be helpful. She is going to make this inside turn to the Rudin Riddle vertical.
Yeah, at this point we've got 5 left and only 4 clear. So if you get a clear at this point, you got a real good chance at a nice ribbon.
Yeah, those that slice across the end up there, that'll definitely help her time where she doesn't feel like she's running at all. She feels very in control. Horse is jumping beautifully. No, it's a great ride to that jump. Bring it on home, Lisi.
She's penalty free so far. And we'll get all the way through. 66.96. Well done there for Elise. Saratoga joins the elite list of clears in 4th place.
Yeah, you really feel like she had a plan of just going nice and clean, not too slow, and it really turned out great for her.
Yeah, and that turn back there to fence number 10, beautiful in its own right, where she opened up the horse's stride nicely to be able to hit it at that angle and still clear the backside of the Oxer aboard Saratoga. Sasha Abramson's entry coming up next. Here's Devin Ryan. Devin will ride Hangover. This the 11-year-old Chestnut Royal Dutch Warm Blood gelding by Action Breaker, number 395. 14th to go here. Of course, we know that Devin Ryan came top 3 in that World Cup qualifier last week in Washington, but that was aboard his trusted mount, Eddie Blue.
And Hangover is, again, not the fastest on his feet, but he's got a nice big stride, which Devin is used to. And he's jumping the trees.
Yep, that's not what you have to jump there, unfortunately.
Sometimes when they, it looks like something is a little bit stuck on the hackamore, when they don't have a bit in their mouth, the turn can be hard, but it definitely looks like something is some kind of wardrobe malfunction here.
Yeah, tack issue there, sort of creating a steerability issue. So he gets that corrected. We'll see.
But he did clear the tree. So,
unfortunately, in this case, that wasn't a jump, and so it's going to count as a refusal by bypassing that fence.
Yeah, that's a shame when something like that happens. But it's happened to everybody.
Taking it slow and steady at this point. There's no reason to keep the speed up now after you had the early refusal and rail.
And tack readjustment.
And tack issues, exactly. And, of course, you already had time out just that you had to take there to get the tack back in order. Now he's just trying to get a smooth finish here for Hangover.
Yeah, that's a shame because he's actually jumping quite nicely.
Lots of time faults on the board there, as you would expect in a situation like that with a refusal and needing to take that time to get the tack issue corrected. He'll finish up on 47 total faults.
Oh, yeah, you can see the rein is up, not on the bottom of the hackamore.
Yeah, I think that got just flipped upside down
upside
there.
Down, yeah.
There's no steerability when that happens for sure. Horse just couldn't even probably tell what he was trying to get it to do at that point, unfortunately.
Exactly.
410 is next to go, and it's the second Kama Godic ride coming to us. She is here aboard her own Charissa, 12-year-old gray Holsteiner mare by Clarimo. And again, another rider for the U.S., based out of Virginia.
And then I don't think Kama and the horse had quite the same idea whether they're doing 7 or 8 up the first line. So unfortunately, jumped into it. But better that than stopping.
Indeed.
And the same kind of thing happened again. Just a little miscommunication. I think this is a new horse to Kama, and they don't quite have the partnership down yet. It's very different riding a horse in a hackamore than a bit. That also can play into it if the rider doesn't have so much experience with a hackamore. Quite a different feel.
She's also taking her time to some extent here as she rounds the bend to approach the final fence, carrying the 8 faults for the 2 knockdowns so far. And that's what she'll finish on as well, actually with 1 more on the clock. 79.18 and 9 total faults. 8 for the 2 knockdowns, 1 for the time. She's still in 12th. Still in 12th place here tonight. So a chance to get 2 ribbons for Kama. She's got a 4-faulter sitting up there in 6th, 12th aboard. Again, this her second ride, Charissa. And we're in the home stretch indeed now with one of the Aaron Vale rides coming to us next. This is I Addermy 4. Aaron aboard this, the 10-year-old Bay Royal Dutch Warmblood mare by Nemelisar rather. An entry of Thinks Like a Horse out of his base in Morriston, Florida. Not too far from Ocala. I love the name of Aaron's operation because he truly is a guy who thinks like a horse.
Yep. Couldn't have named it better if he tried.
Of course, we've seen his wife Mallory showing in the amateur ranks, and when we say he thinks like a horse, basically what we mean
it's a compliment.
It is a compliment. You know, he just really knows how to get inside the mind of a horse, knows how to communicate with them, with all of his rider aides. And sometimes if you watch, you may see him as having a sort of an untraditional style in the saddle, but he is so effective.
Yeah, and he does what each horse needs. He doesn't make the horses conform to him as much as he conforms to the horses. Oh, that was handy.
Yeah, he so far, I think, is making tracks here on the bead to a possible new lead if he can keep them all up. Sliced across number 7 there. Had him drifting to the outside on the way to that combination, unfortunately.
Wow, so tidy. Back to 9. This horse has a great way of being able to be right up to the jump and really pulling away with his front legs.
Look at this time. 4 faults, of course, but you got to give him credit for a 59.16 effort, the fastest yet here. As mentioned, Aaron, as you said, all the way around tidy. And if it hadn't been for the way they sliced there to fence number 7, I don't know, that may have made a big difference. I feel like Aaron sliced in that direction and decided not to get too corrective on the way to the combination, and unfortunately that made him get a little bit long on the end of that combination to have it down. 4 faults. He will get the fast 4-fault spot, 6th place. And we'll have 2 left to go now. Andrew Bournes of Ireland will be the next, and he'll be here aboard Disa DM42. Andrew, the owner and rider of this 9-year-old Dark Bay Swedish mare by Diarado.
We'll see what Andrew decides, whether he's going to be conservative or go. And I would say go. Somewhere in the middle. Nice and measured, but quick enough.
Yeah, again, at this point, still just 5 clears. So guaranteeing a ribbon if you can just keep it penalty-free, since we only have 1 left.
See how he can manage this line. And rub free, he did. Again, a lot like Lee Seoken, he's had his plan when he went in, and he's just riding his plan.
Yeah, going just conservatively there and trying to keep it tidy and penalty-free. He'll be still fairly quick, middle of the pack. But
no.
Wow, it's the last fence. After being that conservative and try to protect the clear, it's got to be a heartbreaker for that clear or that time to get you for 4 faults at the last fence. 7th place still. He will get a ribbon.
That was too bad.
It's about 3 spots lower than he would have been without the rail there. Andrew Bournes and Adisa DM42 with a 66.89 effort. And now, our last in the class, Will Simpson. This is truly a speed event. The round itself is a speed round, just 1 round against the clock, and the class seems to have flown by here,
It has
Kim.
flown by. It's so quick.
We've got Will Simpson to wrap things up. He joins us now with the Quinton VA. This is the High Rise Holdings LLC entry. Bay 10-year-old Holsteiner gelding. I don't think he's holding back.
I don't think so. Plus, with the way this horse canters, it looks even faster than it is. The legs are going very, very quickly.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of a compact package front to back, which allows them to make those tight turns.
Oh, what a shame.
I think he was just slicing maybe a little
too
too
much,
sharp there. Couldn't get the horse's eye on the jump. It would have almost had to jump sideways to get up and over it at that direction. And that's sort of the risk you got to take if you want to be a winner. So he's got the 4 so far. And again, if you can keep it at 4, he'll still be in the ribbons here this evening. He decides to go wide
around,
and around number 4.
I don't think he was quite aware that he could just get away with the 4. I think he thought he was going to have time faults, which he might.
Yeah, again, that time allowed 79 seconds, and they're playing with fire here a bit. Indeed, he'll get there late, unfortunately. You know, still 6 faults, though, keeps him in 11th place. Will Simpson and Quinton with 80.46 at the finish line. And again, a score of 6 total. 4 on the course, 2 on the clock. Let's take one more look at that slice. He was on the way, and you know,
it was a little long for that angle, yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to work out there, and the horse knew it. I think the horse was willing, but just knew that it wasn't going to happen, so decided, Dad, we're going to take another route here. The refusal, of course, giving him some additional time to get to the finish line. Of course, that outside turn around to fence number 4, or around outside of fence number 4, adding a little bit more time, which in the long run would put him into the time fault category. Well, I've had fun here tonight, Kim. As we look at the standings, we ended up with 5 entries penalty-free, Connor Swale being the best of all of them in 59.58, more than 2 seconds ahead of Daniel Blumen, who posted 61.77. And, of course, Mr. Swale there aboard Castellano, Daniel Blumen with Corby VV. And Caroline Mahwini, the 18-year-old young rider there, finishing in 64.12 to also be among the top 3 with Carsey Z. And, of course, we also have Elise Sokin, Francisco Goyuaga Molet in the clear column as well. And on down through the list, you can see Erin Vale, Andrew Bournes, Kama Godick, Jessica Mendoza, Jessica Lito, Will Simpson, and Kelly Cruciani Vanderveen rounding out the top 12. Kim, it's been another fun evening with you. Short, sweet, and to the point. And I'm hoping we're going to have you back here tomorrow night for our World Cup qualifier, yes?
Yes, I get to join in for the World Cup qualifier. I'm very excited.
I think I'm actually going to be involved in some production duties, but you're going to have some great company on
with
the broadcast
Katie,
here tomorrow. Katie Stasiak, so look forward to having her in the Longines FEI World Cup Jumping Lexington. Another stop on the World Cup qualifying tour here for the North American League. And for myself, Ryan Lookabill, and Kim Prince, we're going to send you back to the house with Max von Zimmerman, who made his way all the way from the West Coast there to be our broadcaster in the arena for the week here at our National Horse Show. He'll take it away for the top 3 awards. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in rising and remove your caps as we will honor tonight's winner with the playing of the Irish National Anthem. Let's welcome Congressman to the red carpet for the award picture with Bill Weeks, John Fry, and Marlon Stevens. In the winner's circle from Ireland, Carswell and Castrano. One more request from our champion as they lead us off in the victory ride this evening in the International Speed Stake presented by TR Development. Your winner, Carswell and Castrano, Daniel Newman and Corey B. and Caroline Mahoney and Carson Z. It's Carswell taking the win. Daniel Newman in second. The American Caroline Mahoney taking home their best of luck to each of these riders. All that showing in tomorrow night's World Cup qualifying event, the third of the 8 legs on their way to Riyadh for the 2024 World Cup Finals. Ladies and gentlemen,